In this video, we are going through the installation of virtualization software. So the very first thing we have to do is to identify whether we are using a laptop or a desktop. That's going to be your home lab. It could either run a Mac operating system or Windows operating system. Then the next thing we'll have to do is install a virtualization software on it. The virtualization software for this course, we will be using Oracle VirtualBox. If you're using Apple Mac OS with M1 chip, then you would have to go with UTM virtualization software. All right, so first thing is, what is a virtualization software? Virtualization software is a software that runs on top of your existing operating system, and it allows you to create virtual machines on top of your existing operating system. So you do not have to remove the existing operating system. What is Oracle VirtualBox? So Oracle VirtualBox is a free software. It's a virtualization software by Oracle that we will be using in this course. You could go with a VMware Workstation Player as well if that is something that you are familiar with and that's something you prefer. Then we will go ahead and download the Oracle VirtualBox. And then once it's downloaded, we'll go ahead and install Oracle VirtualBox on our computer. My computer is using a Windows 64-bit operating system. If you are using Windows computer, then you could go to your search menu and type my computer or this PC, right click and go to properties. Here you will find out the processor information, the memory that you have installed, the type of computer. As I said previously, it has to be a 64-bit operating system. All right, once you have confirmed, now it's time to go ahead and download the Oracle VirtualBox. By the way, if you already are familiar with Oracle VirtualBox or you already have a virtual machine running Linux operating system to install Ansible, then you could simply skip this entire video. All right, if you're doing this for the first time, then let's go ahead and start up your browser. Any browser of your choice, I'll go ahead with Firefox. And here I'll type it in download Oracle VirtualBox. Go to the one that says virtualbox.org, click on it, and pick your operating system. Since our operating system is Windows, so we'll pick Windows host. Now, please note, if you see a higher version of Oracle VirtualBox, then go with the most recent version download. Once it's downloaded, perfect. Go ahead and click Open File. Now this is the time to do the installation. All right, you might get a message say, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Click yes. All right, welcome to Oracle VM VirtualBox. The version setup wizard, just simply follow the wizard. Leave everything default, click next. Choose from the following options: create a start menu, create a shortcut on desktop, create a shortcut quick launch bar. I'll leave that out. And register file association, leave everything as default, click next. Proceed with installation. Warning, network interface. Installing Oracle VM VirtualBox networking feature will reset your network connection and temporarily disconnect you from the network. So if you are running any other important or production critical application on your machine, this machine where we're installing, then I would say stop them first because the network adapter will reset and it will give you a brief interruption on the network. So if not, if it's just a lab or home computer, then simply click yes and install. All right, Oracle VM VirtualBox version installation is complete. Click Finish button to exit the setup, and also a check mark is already there by default if you wanted to start it when you click Finish. All right, so as soon as the application or the software starts up, this is the window box that you will see. Let me minimize the Firefox in the background. And right here, you'll see This is the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. This is where you will go in and create virtual machines. And once we create the virtual machine, we'll install the Linux operating system, install Ansible, and we'll go it from there. Previously, we have downloaded and installed Oracle VirtualBox. Now it's time to go in and create a virtual machine and install Linux operating system. So step by step, the very first thing we did, we identified our computer where we will be installing the virtualization layer. So second thing we did, downloaded and installed the virtualization, which we picked the Oracle VirtualBox. Now the third thing is we'll go and open up our VirtualBox and create a virtual machine. Then the last step is to install Linux operating system. Now, in this course, I'm going to install Linux CentOS version 8 operating system. Of course, you could go with any version of your choice. You could either go with Red Hat 6, 7, 8, or you could go with CentOS, you could go with Ubuntu. All the instructions have been provided. But for this course, we will go with CentOS version 8. All right, so first thing is to create a virtual machine. All right, so you could start your Oracle VirtualBox by typing right here, or simply double click the icon on your desktop. Let's start it from the desktop. Click New to create a new virtual machine. Let's pick the name Ansible Control Node. This is the name of the virtual machine, not the name of your operating system. All right, so pick the type Linux and the version. Let's pick Linux 2.6, 64-bit, and click Next. This is the size of your memory, which is 1 gig by default. Let's change it to 2 gig 2048. Next. This is going to ask you about your disk. Create a virtual disk now. The file type, leave it default, and change the disk size to 20 gig. If you are planning on adding a lot of scripts or a lot of huge files onto your Ansible control node, then change the size according to your requirement. Click Create. Now your virtual machine has been created. I want you to go to Setting, and you will see in general it has the name and the type of operating system that will be hosting on this computer. Go to System. If you want to change the memory, you could change it now. If you want to change the processor, which is given as one CPU by default, if you want to change it now. Go to Storage and click on Ansible Control Node.vdi, and you will see this is the 20 gig that we have picked for our disk space. I want you to go to Network and change the attach to from NAT to bridge adapter. This will allow you to connect to the internet once you have the operating system installed. That's perfect. Click OK. Now, before you power it on, it is going to ask you where the operating system ISO image. So we have to download the CentOS ISO image. For that, we'll go to our Firefox. That's a browser that I'm using. Go to Google and type it in download CentOS. Go to the CentOS.org. Click on CentOS Stream because CentOS Linux will give you 7. If you wanted to go with 7, that's still fine. Click on this one on 7 and pick the first one, the first mirror that will allow you to download the ISO image. Now we are going with 8, so CentOS Stream version 8 and x86 underscore 64-bit. Click on it and pick the first one, and then pick the one that says x86-64, the version dvd1.iso, and you will notice it has the high size. Pick this one and it will start downloading. I have already downloaded this ISO image to save some time, so I'm going to cancel it. If you have not downloaded, so please wait until the download completes. All right, so download is completed. I have it downloaded on my desktop. Right here is the downloaded of ISO image. Now go ahead and click on Start. We'll start the virtual machine. Once it starts, it's going to ask you where is the ISO image of the operating system that you wanted to install. So we'll pick this folder, add, where is our ISO image? It is on our desktop, and right here is the ISO image. Click open and click choose and then start. This page is by default selected test this media and install CentOS Stream. Move your arrow on the keyboard and select the first one, which is install CentOS Stream 8 and hit enter. All right, you're gonna get the welcome to CentOS installation. Pick your language, the region. For me, it's United States, and then click continue. All right, please complete items marked with this icon before continuing to the next step. Keyboard English, leave it default. Installation source local media, which we have picked from our desktop. Installation destination. So this is the 20 gig. It's already checked. Click done. It's checking storage, automatic partitions. We are now going to do the custom partition. We're just picking the automatic partition. Language support, leave it default. Software selection. Server with GUI. You can leave that default unless you want to add more packages. Simply click done. KDump is enabled by default. Leave as is, time and date. For me, it's America's New York. You could change it according to your time and region. Network and host name. Right here, our network is turned on. We'll move this here and change the host name to Ansible control node. Or we could make it shorter by just saying control node. This is going to be the host name of this operating system. Once you click on apply, it will say current host name is controlled node. The network is connected on already. Beautiful. Click done. Now that one is done. Security policy, you don't have to make any changes. Root password, pick a password. Okay, it's saying the password fails the dictionary check. It is based on a dictionary word which you will have to press done twice to confirm. So if you're picking a weak password, that is fine, but you have to press done twice. But of course, I would recommend that you pick a stronger password. All right, since this is again, it's lab, that is fine. The next one right here says user creation. If you want to create a user, you can. I'm going to create a user for myself. Requires a password. Pick a password for that user. Again, it's a weak password. That is fine. So I'm going to click done twice. All right, all the information that is needed has been provided. Perfect. Now click on begin installation. Now this is going to take anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 or 25 minutes, depending on the speed of your computer where you are running this virtual software. All right, I'm going to fast forward from this point. All right, so installation has been completed. Go ahead and click on reboot system. License information, click I accept the license agreement. Done. Finish configuration. All right, so now you got the login screen. Go ahead and click on your name, or you could click on not listed and type it in root if you wanted to log in as root. Hit enter. Okay, so now we have a desktop. Click on Activities and click on the terminal. This is the terminal that we will be using to execute Ansible scripts or Ansible commands. But for that, first we have to install Ansible. So anyway, for this video, we have created a virtual machine and installed a Linux operating system on our virtual machine. And of course, the next step would be to install Ansible software. I'll see you in the next lecture. Hey folks, so this is the last step of our lab setup. We have downloaded and installed Oracle VirtualBox, then we have downloaded and installed Linux operating system. Now it's time to install Ansible software or Ansible engine on our Linux operating system. All right, so one important thing before you go ahead and install Ansible is that I want you to take a VM snapshot. This will allow you to come back or revert back to the VM original state when you took the snapshot in case you do make a mistake or do some kind of misconfiguration on your Linux operating system. All right, so go to our Oracle VirtualBox. Right here, your Ansible control node is powered off. You have this menu. If you don't have this menu, simply click on these three dots, click on snapshot, and then click take. Give it a name. I'm going to give Linux install point, which will remind me this is the time when I've completed the Linux installation. Click OK. All right, it's done, and I'll go ahead and click Start. All right, while this virtual machine or this Linux operating system is starting it up, let's go to the next step, which is Ansible installation guide can be found on this link. So I want you to write down this link because this will give you a lot of good information of step-by-step instruction on installing Ansible. If you are installing on a different version than CentOS 8, which I am going to be installing it on. So if I go to my Firefox, which I have already opened and I am already on that page, on this page you will notice here's a list of all the instructions of installing Ansible on different operating systems. Right here is RHEL, CentOS, or Fedora. These are the instructions which we will follow to install it on CentOS. If you are doing it on Ubuntu, follow this instruction. For Debian, follow this instruction. And there are other Unix or Linux type operating system which you could follow the instruction and install Ansible. All right, going back to our slide and going back to our virtual machine. Our virtual machine is up and let's log in as ourself. Okay, so if you notice, this is a smaller windows of VirtualBox. If you wanted to make this window bigger, you could right click on your desktop, go to display setting, and right here where you see resolution, click on it, change the resolution to whichever resolution according to your requirement. I'm going to leave it as is for now. Okay, this is a welcome message that you're gonna get. Every time you start it up, you could actually quit out of it by clicking here and quit. All right, so going back to display, we'll change whatever you have, apply the setting, and it will make it bigger. All right, click on activities, go to the terminal. So we have the terminal open. The next step is for CentOS Red Hat Fedora version 7, you will have to run the command yum dnf. DNF is going to be replacing yum eventually. So for now, you could use either or. So install epel-release and then install Ansible. Now for CentOS 8 or any of the version 8, these are the instructions that we will follow. Go back to our Linux machine. To follow these instructions and install any package, we have to run the command as root. So become root. All right. Now go ahead and run the command yum install epel release. All right, it's asking you to confirm, type Y and confirm again, and the package has been installed. All right, the next thing is yum install Python. Now, with CentOS 8 or newer version of Red Hat or Linux, the Python package should already be installed or installed out of the box. To confirm that, you could run the command rpm-qa and grep for Python. And you'll notice these are all the list of Python packages that's already been installed. Great. Now the next step is to install Ansible. So let's clear the screen and type it in yum or DNF. So in this time we'll run DNF. Install Ansible. This is the Ansible engine or software itself. And then next package that we will install in addition to Ansible is the Ansible documentation. And enter. All right, Ansible and Ansible doc package is completed. To verify it, you can run the command rpm qa and grep for Ansible. All right, it's there, Ansible core and Ansible doc. The next thing is if you are using CentOS 8 and the above steps don't work, then follow these steps. So usually version 8 will come with Python 3. If it's not, then you follow these steps, yum install Python 3, and then use Python package installer to install Ansible, which is pip3 install Ansible dash doc. All right, moving on. If you're using Red Hat 8 and the above steps that we followed did not work, then you have to enable the Ansible engine repository to install Ansible. And for that, you will run the command subscription dash manager repos enable the Ansible repositories and then install Ansible. All right, so now after Ansible has been successfully installed on your Linux machine, let's confirm. So here is our Linux machine. Let's clear the screen and you will run the command Ansible dash dash version. And it will give you the version of the Ansible engine or Ansible software that has been installed. All right, it is there. We confirmed that. Now run Ansible command module using ping. So it will be Ansible localhost -m ping. This command is going to run Ansible module called ping against the localhost. So simply as if we are doing ping localhost and it is pinging and confirming it could ping the localhost just like that, we have a ping module within Ansible. By the way, there are many more modules that we will cover later on, but for now this is what I wanted to confirm to see if Ansible has been installed. All right, let's check the Ansible config files. So let's clear the screen again. The Ansible files, all of them are located in etc Ansible, and you do listing of the files and directories. You'll see there are roles directory, which we will cover later on. Then there's a hosts file. That's where all the remote clients inventory resides. So we every time we run an Ansible command, it comes to this file to see where are the list of all the hosts or remote clients that it has to execute the commands on. And the last one is ansible.cfg. If you need to make any configuration change on Ansible, you could do it on this configuration files. All right. The last thing, please note, if you have SC Linux enabled on remote nodes, you will also want to install libsclinux-python on them before using any copy file template related function in Ansible. Now, you do not have to go log into each and every one of them. What you could do is you can use the yum module or DNF module in Ansible to install this package on remote hosts that do not have it. All right, so we will disable the SC Linux on our remote client because we are using all that setup in our lab environment. But if you're doing in production, then please make sure you install this libsc linux-python package. All right, so now this completes our entire lab setup and configuration. Now it's time to really get our hands dirty and run our Ansible automation scripts against our local hosts and remote clients.